Hello, this is another episode of How to Migrate to Canada. My name is Ayo Yanga, More Immigration Solutions. Today I will be talking about the comprehensive ranking system, which is the system that is used for express entry candidates. There are four factors that are considered or that basically give you points or the points that are considered to migrate into Canada. Before I go into the details of how the how you can actually calculate your points or how the points works, I'm going to use myself as an example. I'll just give you some figures so that you can understand. I'll quickly show you the draws that were made in 2017 and the number of people that has actually gotten invitation to apply the ITAs. If you can see this, I'm not sure if you can see this clearly. So this is from January to May 2017. So these are the amount of draws that has been done just from January to May 2017. And I'll just briefly explain. So in January they had 3 draws. In February they had 2. In March they had 2. In April they had 3. In May they had 2. Actually in May they had 3. And look at the points. I'm more concerned about the points. The draws, the numbers that was drawn. Look at it. In January, 1, 2, 3. This is January draw. This is January 4th. This is January 11th and 25th. So the first January it was 468. In January 11 it was 459. Now look at May 17. It was 415. So those are the numbers that has been drawn. So if you get up to this point, you're going to be invited to apply. So you will get into the pool. Okay. Now let's go back to the system. Then actually that's just for January to May. From May till September 20th, which was the last draw, same thing was happening. So this is just handwriting. I not be able to see my handwriting, but it's just a rough sketch. So this is from May 26th to September 20th. So from May 26th, the draw was 413 up to September 20th, which was 433, and the people invited to apply in September 20 was 2,800, a little bit above 2,800. Let's go back to the ranking system. Let's go back to the factor. How does it work? How is it calculated? How do you get your points? Good. There are 4 factors to consider. There's the human factor, there's the spouse or your common law factor, which is the second one. The third factor is the transferability factor, and the last one is the additional points. In general, these are just the 4 things that are being considered. The first one, what is included in the human core factor, in the human capital factor? Your age is looked into, your level of education, your official language, and your Canadian work experience. So those are the 4 things that are considered in the first factor, which is the human capital factor. So they look at your age, they look at the level of education you have, your official language proficiency, and your Canadian experience. So for your age, you can get up to 100 points. If you don't have a spouse, you get more points. But that doesn't mean if you have a spouse is a disadvantage for you. Actually, no, I do not believe it's a disadvantage for you, because there's a common law spouse section where if you have a spouse, your spouse can actually add to your points, which is almost equivalent to the same thing. But let's assume, I will use myself an example, and we are assuming that I am married. Just so you understand the point, this is what I am going to do. This is me, Ayo, 35 years old, married, 2 kids. I have a master's degree. My husband has a master's degree. We did the high health exam. Benchmark, we had 7 each. Good. Just so you understand the scenario or how it works. So now we're using the factor, the comprehensive ranking system. So for my age, because I am 35, this is the chart. This is the age chart. So because I am 35, I only get 70 points. Right there. I'm not sure if you can see it. So because I am 35, right there, and I am married, Oh, sorry, I highlighted the wrong one. So because I am 35 right there and I am married, I only get 70 points. Okay, so I'm writing it down, 70 points. The second thing they're looking at under the human core factor is your level of education. Like I said, I'm assuming I have a master degree. Master degree, let's look at it. Over here, master degree. I get 126 points. You see? I'm not sure. It seems not to be clear. Can you see the points? I'm sorry. But anyways, you can always get this information on the Canadian website, www.cic.gc.ca. Actually, I encourage anybody that has interest in migrating to Canada to bookmark that page. That is your Bible, honestly, or that is whatever thing you read on a daily basis. Bookmark it and always find your information there. I can tell you something that you don't believe, but you can always confirm it there. I might not always be right, but I tend to be right most of the time. But you can always go back and confirm the information there. You make that website, make it known to you. Just Google it all the time. Find everything you find there all the time. So anyways, back to it. So I have a master degree. I get 126 points. That's the second one under the human factor. The third one under the human factor will be my proficiency, my language proficiency. Right here. Right there. So the English, like I said, I'm assuming my benchmark is 7. So I got a 7. So for a benchmark of 7, I only get 3 points. You see that? I only get 3 points. That's the minimum requirement. That doesn't mean you can't get above that. I tell people try and get 9. And I will explain to you why I tell people to try and get 9. Because if you do have a 9 benchmark 1, see, you're getting 6. So you're getting double of what a 7 is getting. And for your education in the transferable factor, if you have a benchmark of 9 and above, your point is double completely. I will get to that. But let's go. Let's keep forging ahead. So for my official language, I have 3 points. Now for my Canadian work experience, because I do not have Canadian work experience, I'm getting nothing. Absolutely nothing. Now, the second factor, which is the spouse or the common law factor, that is my husband. Now my husband is going to get us some points. I'm the principal applicant, but my husband is migrating with me with 2 kids. So he has to give some points. Remember, he has a master degree. He did the IELTS exam as well. Please let your spouse do the IELTS exam. You get point for that as well. But anyways, so he has a master degree. There it is. 10 points. Canadian language official benchmark. What did he do? 7. So he has just 3 points, just like me, because he has 7. If he had gotten a 9 or more, he would have gotten 5 points in addition to us. So we lost this. We only have 3. And he only got 10 points for his education. He does not have any Canadian work experience, so we don't get anything in here. Now the third factor, which is the transferability factor. Now this is where it works when I tell you to try and get the benchmark of 9, because now we're back to this one. Because you're getting transferred factors, right? So you have a benchmark of 9 or more, your points doubles automatically. So if you have 2 or more post-secondary program credentials with a benchmark of 9 in language proficiency, you get 50 points. With a Canadian work experience, let's assume none of us have a Canadian work experience, so we don't get this. But we're stuck with this because we have 2 or more years of another program, so we get 25. Added to that, we have 6 years. I'm assuming I have 6 years of foreign work experience. I'm assuming I work in Nigeria as a manager, 6 years. So for 3 or more years working experience, that's another thing I've explained before. It has to be the same knock work experience within the last 10 years. The years could just be 3, it doesn't really matter, but you have to stay in the same. You can combine it. So for example, you can say you have a different knock in another job for 2 years, you have another different experience, another knock for another 1 year, and tell me you want to combine it. No, it has to be the same. But anyways, we got a point of 3 years, so we have 25 points in here. So for additional points, you get additional points if you have a family member in Canada, if you have a job offer, if you have schooled in Canada, if you have any educational experience in Canada, if you have been nominated by the provincial or any territory in Canada. So you get additional points in here. I know I had said in my earlier in my first video saying job offer does not matter, and I will explain why I had said job offer does not matter. The reason why I had mentioned that job offer does not matter is that doesn't mean you can't get into the pool without a job offer. You can get into the pool without a job offer, and it's just because it's a bit difficult in getting a job offer before actually getting into Canada. So that's why I said it's something I will not encourage you put all your energy into it. But if you can, or you have the resources, or you have somebody that can help you, or you have an organization that can help you, sure, go for it. But in this case, if you don't have a job offer, you can also channel your energy or channel getting points in another area. So I've been using myself as an example with the numbers of points I had listed. I'm adding all my points together, and guess what? I only have 269 points. That's it. Remember earlier on, I had showed you the points that has been drawn for the whole of 2011. I'm trying to, everything is good, guys. Anyway, look at it. The lowest so far is 400 and actually the lowest so far was 413 in May 26. So after the 415, the lowest was 413. So with all my experience, with all my level of education, with everything, I still did not meet up with a point. Although when I start the profile and I put the amount of money that I have, everything, it adds up eventually and I get more points, or I tend to qualify. But with these, I did not get anywhere. So those of you that do not understand the point system, I hope this video will help you a little bit. But you can send me a message in specific area that you really want me to focus on, and I will explain in details. I'm trying not to go beyond 10 minutes of the video so you don't get bored of listening to me. But anyways, I hope I'm able to answer most of your questions on the comprehensive ranking system. Like I said, try as much as you can if you're going for your IELTS exam or language exam, if you're writing the CELPIP, whichever one you're writing, try and focus on getting a benchmark of at least 9. It's going to help. Encourage your spouse to do the test. I have a lot of people, they don't want to let their spouse do it, but encourage them to do it. It helps when both of you do it together. It helps. You get more points for it. Send me an email. My email address is info@moiimmigrationsolutions.com. info info at moiimmigrations solutions solutions.com. You can give us a call. I'm sorry I could not answer a lot of phone calls. Reason being that a lot of you call me at odd hours. Most times I'm sleeping. You come, I get calls at 2 a.m., 3 a.m. No, try and calculate the time the office is open, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. I will try and answer calls. I return some of the calls if I can, and if I can, a lot of you have done assessments. I think I'm actually up to date with the assessments. I called most of you. The ones I couldn't call, I sent you an email. Some people did not pick up their calls, but I tend to be, I think I am up to date with the assessment. I'm not sure if I received any today yet. I haven't checked the assessment today. But anyways, call me for any information if you do need any. I will try and keep up I'm still going to be talking about how to migrate to Canada in the next video. I'm still focusing on the express entry. Once I'm done with the express entry, I will be answering your questions on students. I am sorry those of you that sent me from email about student visa. I try to answer your questions as much as I can in the email. I promise to do a video once I am done with the Express Entry on students on, and I'm working towards getting actually to become an education agent, so I can actually give you a lot of information that you actually need. Anyways, I wish you all the best. See you next week. I hope this video is helping. Thank you all. I got all your emails. I'm happy that the last week video actually helped. We will look forward to the next week video. Like I said, it's still going to be how to migrate to Canada through the through the Express Entry pool. See you again next week. Bye.